What if I told you that this week, a single tweet helped spark a stock market crash, that a low-profile meeting in the Middle East might be all that stands between peace and war, and that Elon Musk is now considered more dangerous to brand reputation than inflation? Welcome to Nexusfeed's weekly roundup, where we untangle the chaos, connect the dots, and help you make sense of the world. This week was a whirlwind. Let's break it down. So let's start with the big one, Trump's new tariffs. On April 2nd, President Trump stood on stage and announced what he called Liberation Day. That meant 10% tariffs on every single import into the U.S. and as much as 54% on goods coming from China. A bold headline during his campaign trail? Absolutely. But in practice, the fallout was immediate. Within hours, global markets went into free fall. The S&P 500 down 8%. The FTSE 100 dropped 6%. Japan's Nikkei lost 9%. Economists are already calling it the start of the 2025 crash. And yeah, you probably felt it too. Groceries creeping up in price. Gas ticking higher. Electronics getting more expensive by the day. Trump called it economic patriotism, bringing jobs home and punishing so-called cheaters. But this wasn't a targeted strike. It was more like a shockwave through the entire global economy. China fired back with its own tariffs. Europe threatened lawsuits at the WTO. Multinational companies? They're scrambling to find new suppliers, reroute logistics, and rethink everything. Some analysts warn this could turn into a full-blown global recession. And we're not talking hypotheticals, we're talking real jobs, real wages, and real economic pain. But here's the twist. This isn't just economic policy, it's a political power play. Trump isn't just reshaping trade, he's trying to redefine America's role in the world economy. Is this the end of globalization, or just another chapter in its messy evolution? Either way, it's not happening in a vacuum. Because while markets burn, backroom diplomacy is heating up. Over in Rome, away from the headlines, American and Iranian officials quietly agreed to shift nuclear negotiations to Oman. Behind closed doors, expert level, no press allowed. This is huge. Why? Because Iran wants sanctions relief badly, and the United States wants guarantees that Iran won't build a bomb. Simple goals on paper, but the trust deficit, massive. Iran's economy is unraveling under sanctions, protests are bubbling up, and Israel, they're watching closely, ready to act. We've been here before. Remember the 2015 Iran nuclear deal? That got ripped up under Trump's first term. Now he's back in office. And suddenly the negotiations are back too. It's almost ironic, but make no mistake, these aren't peace talks. They're more like a pressure valve. A way to stop the pot from boiling over. Oman's hosting the next round. Quiet, stable, and neutral. The perfect venue when the stakes are sky high. Because if this collapses, the next round of talks might not involve diplomats. It might involve missiles. And speaking of missiles, in Ukraine, a Russian missile strike hit the city of Sumy this week. 34 people killed, most of them civilians. The very next day, NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte visited Odessa, standing shoulder to shoulder with Zelensky. It looked like a moment of solidarity, but behind the scenes, things aren't so unified, because the U.S., it refused to sign a G7 statement condemning the attack. That raised a lot of eyebrows. Zelensky responded with urgency. Send us more air defense, we're running out. Ukraine is tired, outgunned, low on supplies. Russia, on the other hand, is grinding forward inch by brutal inch. And Trump, his foreign policy centers on something he calls strategic realism. Translation, less emotion, more leverage. It might mean pushing Ukraine toward the negotiation table, whether they want to go or not. Is it practical? Maybe. Is it a betrayal? Depends on who you ask. But one thing's clear, if America steps back, the entire balance in Eastern Europe shifts. And while eyes are on Ukraine, another crisis is boiling where you might least expect it. Let's head south to the Red Sea. It might not be in the headlines, but it should be. The U.S. has just launched Operation Rough Rider. a military campaign targeting Houthi rebel positions in Yemen. Here's why. The Houthis have been attacking cargo ships and tankers. They've turned one of the world's busiest shipping routes into a war zone. About 15% of global trade passes through the Red Sea. With ships now avoiding the area, we're seeing massive reroutes around the African continent. That means higher costs, slower delivery times, and yes, more emissions. The Houthis claim they're acting in solidarity with Gaza. The U.S. says it's about protecting international trade and deterring chaos. Over 200 Houthis have reportedly been killed or wounded in the strikes. And the risk of escalation? High. Iran is watching. Saudi Arabia is already involved, and Israel, well, we know they won't sit still. This is regional warfare with global consequences. Okay, let's talk about reputation, not personal, corporate. The Global Risk Advisory Council dropped a bombshell this week. The two biggest threats to brand reputation in 2025, number 1, AI gone wrong. Number 2, Elon Musk. Yeah, you heard that right. Musk is a genius. He's also unpredictable. And now, as an unofficial advisor to Trump's AI task force, he's more politically entangled than ever. Companies that align with Musk, they're seeing stock volatility, PR blowups, and public backlash. One wrong tweet, and they're trending for all the wrong reasons. Then there's AI, deepfakes, rogue chatbots, biased algorithms. It only takes one misstep to damage years of brand trust, and many companies aren't prepared. In a world where reputation spreads at the speed of a screenshot, even legacy brands are vulnerable. So yes, AI might be the future. But right now, it's a minefield. One miscalculation, and you're not just canceled, you're bankrupt. So, there you have it. Tariffs, talks, missiles, misinformation. And a growing sense that the rules of the global game are changing. In 2025, power isn't just about weapons or markets. It's about perception, pressure, and control over the story. We'll keep connecting the dots. You keep asking the hard questions. This is Nexusfeed. Thanks for joining us on this week's edition of Global News Roundup. If you found this breakdown valuable, please give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, and tap the bell icon so you don't miss next week's edition. Drop your thoughts in the comments section too. Stay informed, stay critical, stay curious.